everybody, and welcome to Music Real Talk with Marbin. If you like what you're hearing, please subscribe. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 111 of Music Real Talk with Marbin.
Why won't you promise them what's going to be in the video so we'll stay?
What's going to be? Oh, like
Not in the video, in the
so
podcast.
now that we're content creators?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to, all your expectations will be met, but then we're going to blow your mind.
Exceeded.
Exceeded.
So I just heard an Ornette Coleman story.
What's that?
Do you remember Justin? You met him. He used to play with our friend Elad Muscatel. Drummer.
Yes.
Used to be Elad's drummer.
Uh-huh.
So he was hanging. That was like, I don't know, how many years ago? Like 10 years ago, something?
15 years ago.
Yeah. No, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. So he was hanging out at John Zorn's club.
Okay.
And Ornette Coleman was there. And
Didn't he die like 300 years ago or something?
No.
Okay.
I don't know if it's, I think he's dead now, but
Yeah.
he chatted him up.
Uh-huh. Did he touch his dick?
Let me finish the story. He didn't touch his dick, but I'll tell you a story. So, like, Ornette was like, hey, man, do you want to come to my house and play some music?
Oh, my God. Like, when you listen to that kind of music, it's obviously the music of, like, child predators, you know?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, Muscatel said he always looked young. But it's like now people are going to be maybe a little bit disappointed where the story goes. Anyway, so we went to the Upper West Side where Ornette lives, and he said they took an elevator, and the elevator goes up to the penthouse, and then the elevator is basically you go out and you're in his kitchen, one of those houses, like humongous house. He said it's a duplex, that's one house. Just humongous and super fancy on the Upper West Side, and the one that lives. And I was like, oh, look, this is the kitchen, this is that. It's like, hey, here's my studio. And it's like super pristine studio and drum set. Like, hey, do you want to drink orange juice? I was like, sure, yeah. That would be cool because, like, you know, Ornette Coleman offers you orange juice, but you're going to say no?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, cool. Feel at home. It's like, okay, cool. And he's like, start playing. And he's like, I'll play the drums, and, you know, he'll come back with the orange juice, and we'll play, and he's going to be inspired by what I'm playing. And he just started playing and playing the drums, and just like, it's not coming. It's like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, like, And then he sees, like, a cello bow. It's like, starting playing with a cello bow, and starting touching everything in the room, and then coming playing more drums. It's like 40 minutes, 50 minutes, like, what the fuck is going on? And then after an hour, it's like, going and looking for Ornette. It's like, just the house is humongous. It's like going to a bedroom and looking, going to the room, and when he finds him on a couch sleeping.
Oh my God, that could have been such a
know
better
if
story.
I know if he fucked him. That's what I thought it was gonna go too when he was telling me that. Yeah, that's kind of lame, but it's still good.
Yeah, no, it's good to find a sleeping Ornette, but like,
And I just left. Took the elevator away, left.
No, that's awesome, but like, I really, like, if I could recreate this story
But
to be more
Can I
interesting.
just say one more thing?
Yeah.
But it's like, that's really free jazz.
That is free jazz. That's the
Free
best thing
jazz.
you can do with your soul.
Let's play. Orange juice, sleep.
Yeah.
Go home.
That's pretty epic, I have to say.
The secret to free jazz is live in space.
Yeah, could you imagine, like, how fucking crazy it must feel to buy like a $5 million home, and then like you show it to it's like, how'd you get the money? And then you like play your friend your albums. It's just like
Playing a plastic
ding ding
saxophone.
ding, plum plum plum, dick. It's like that's just what my sound is worth.
It's it's like the lady that plays guitar. What's her name? That one lady
From
that
Portland.
plays guitar. Yeah.
She wants like woman of the
No, she
year in jazz or something.
Genius MacArthur or whatever.
Yeah, she's a
Grant.
genius.
She
from
got
Portland.
$500,000.
Yeah. I saw a video of like Julian Lodge, her and another guitar player.
You saw a lot of videos of her. I showed you all of them. I played her in the car nonstop.
Yeah, and they were all like talking. Like, I'm not a Julian Lodge fan at all, but they're all talking like they're just all like on the same level. and they were all just, and it was so weird to see from the outside because it's just like, it's like how castrated of a man do you have to be to pretend? I mean, I understand NPR is filming you. I understand you have to. You're incentivized.
What would you say?
Just like
I pretend with people all the time. What can you do?
in front, like just throw a little bit of shade to where like somebody who's like sitting from the side at home from YouTube can imagine. You just
Give
gotta
me an
be
example.
like like I go like and then it's like her turn to play. She's like,
They played a little bit.
yeah, everybody played a little bit of guitar.
That's a different story.
And then like he's just like nodding his head like, mm-hmm.
Oh, I would never do that.
like,
No, I do the opposite.
No.
If somebody,
You just try to like look like
You sometimes try not to be too, like with some people that you're like, I try not to be too good, to not embarrass them.
yeah. But I'm saying like they were all
I
like
don't do that.
they
I
were
do the
all
opposite.
they were all doing like the deep face listen face like the like oh what a great line from this fucking retard. It's playing like absolute nonsense. Like just absolute
Yeah,
nonsense.
Of course,
Yeah.
you can't play.
Can't play a thing.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well,
I wonder why we're not.
you know what?
I wonder why we're no more accepted in the scene.
You know what's fine to me? He was telling me a story, but he got fired from his main gig in Israel.
Oh,
his main jazz gig.
This is the guy who used to play bass with us, and he always complains that we don't mention him in our things.
Yeah, but he was.
Shout out.
Yeah, he got fired from his gig, and he told me the story.
How? Do tell.
Well, we did an album together that he barely got paid for. He read me all the text, how it led to him getting paid too, which was also hilarious. It was like, the guy's like, I don't have any money and that. And it's like, and then...
This is Israel for you.
And when Muscatel said, it's... Well, he said it this way. He says, you're not going to ask your plumber friend to come and fix your sink for free. And bass players are the installators, like the plumbers of the music world.
Which is ironic because they usually shit all over the music.
Yeah. So he gave him like, okay, I'll give you 400 shekels for
that's like $100
for like 8 rehearsals and a full day in the studio. Anyway, and when they put like they butchered his sound, and he was really upset. They put a high pass, like they just put highs on the acoustic bass.
Yeah.
And Muscatel was like,
Oh,
what's the
finger
opposite
sound.
of every album?
Yeah.
And for references, they just sent stuff from the 80s where people use pickups. Like with Eddie Gomez, horrible sound.
That is the worst, like piezo.
Yeah, and
bass.
Muscatel was like, can you guys listen to Paul Chambers and stuff like that? And we're like, no, the bass is taking over the music here. I was like, what, Paul Chambers with Coltrane is taking over the music? It's like, okay. So that's where it went. And then we went to do a rehearsal for, how do you call those shows? So I'm so tired, so...
What shows?
The shows that you do, like album release shows.
Yeah.
So I said we had like 7 album release shows. Every show it was like album release show. And we went to do a rehearsal for it. And he plugged into an amp that he never plugged in before. It was just in the rehearsal room.
Yeah.
And played a note. And the saxophone player is the main guy, and he hired his wife to sing.
Oof.
Okay?
Always a great move.
Yeah. So the wife was like, you're really taking over the music. And Muscatel was like, what? I just plugged in.
Who are you?
Yeah, he's like, first of all, who are you? And second thing, it's like, we're not playing yet. I just plugged in my bass. Can I touch a button on the amp first? And he was like, and then he's like, he told her later, which he also does that, right? So we were talking about it, like, he also chilled out with criticism. Me and him used to criticize people mercilessly.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, you did too, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like Danny did too. It's an Israeli thing when you're young, and it's also before life kicks you in the balls.
Yeah.
So you still really care about
when you
everybody.
move to the States and like, you meet people in your 20s who never heard a bad thing about their playing in their lives, and then we're like, what chord is that? What note is this? Why do you play this note on this chord? This note
I made somebody
horrible.
cry, I remember,
Yeah.
in Israel.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And it's because I wanted him to sound better. Now I don't care. You know what I mean?
That is true. It's the ancient Thomas Sowell saying. When you want to help other people, you tell them the truth. When you want to help yourself, you lie.
So you guys are welcome. Danny is wearing a coat. Looks like he killed like 1,000 baby chicks. And Nick has a mustache that
looks like it's his bar mitzvah.
make him look like he wants to rape child rapists. So I was trying to help him before the podcast. Anyway, keep going. So he got fired from that gig.
No
right?
shit. Yeah.
But the entire story was to say that if you all of this that happens, and I know it from okay, I'm not gonna say, but a woman musician is a woman first.
What do you mean?
But they're still women first.
Yes.
It's like you can't talk to them like, hey, like let's chill out.
No. Yeah.
It's like, chill out. Especially not when her husband is in the band.
Oh my God.
It's like, do you know what he told me?
Could you imagine? I mean, I know from my wife for a fact, if you want to send her through a fit, like, it's like, you know, there's a magic word. It works like magic. Relax.
You know, Danny's wife, when we picked her up, she was drunk from a party, like what she had with her coworkers, and she told us a story that the female coworkers, for fun, oh my God, okay, I have a lot to say in this podcast. Yeah, so you're gonna talk too, but just
no, go for it.
Yeah, so they were talking about who in the office made you cry.
Yeah.
And she was like, you actually made me cry. She told a different lady there. And I was like, you know, women have this thing about like who's the coworker that
annoyed you the most.
That annoyed you the most today.
Great topic.
So they do that in a band too.
Oh my God.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. I always said that like introducing a woman to our band would be so impossible on so many levels. It would just be impossible. Not like just the way we tour. It's like, all right, so you sleep with John.
Yeah.
You guys share a bed. We're going to be right in this bed in the same room.
That's really, that's not even the worst part of it, but yeah.
No. What's the worst part of it?
Just the stuff we say.
Yeah. Like, especially, like, yeah.
Can I tell my joke that I told you?
That depends what the joke is.
Okay, yes. So we were having a dinner party that was a crazy dinner party.
It was crazy. I remember now.
Danny's wife and John's wife had a conversation that I couldn't, for the life of me, I can't believe like the words that came out of everybody's mouth. And you told your wife about it and she didn't even notice, right?
She was thinking about pragmatic solutions. It's a long story.
Yeah, that's not the story. Yeah, I'm just saying it's crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, they brought a woman there that's single, never married at 38, and she kept talking about how much she hates men.
That's true.
And originally I was saying about how much I'm a male feminist, but then after a while she said one thing and I was like, you know, women have theirs too.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, you know, who's the most dangerous thing to women is men. Women, the thing that kills women the most are men. You know, no shit, no, it's mountain lions. It's like, you know what I mean?
Well, the thing that kills men the most is
men.
also.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Okay, and then John fact-checked it and was like, yeah, you are, actually.
Wow.
Actually, yeah. John was so surprised. And then she's like, yeah, but you know what? You know that pregnant women are more likely to be murdered by a man than women that are not pregnant. And I told her, yeah, because they talk back for two. And nobody laughed. It was perfect. The timing was perfect. No break in there.
Oh, dude, I have great
Well, you
jokes.
are gone already.
I have great jokes at home that are wasted on my wife. Like a lot of times, it's just like, dude, like I turn around to my pretend friends. Really fucking landed this one.
Yeah, I was so quiet after I said it. I was like, did you guys not hear me?
It's you know, this is kind of a great example of us being in the wrong place in the wrong time, musically and personally. I really imagine a world that appreciates humor and fusion. But alas, we are in fucking Facebook jail in Chicago in 2023.
Yeah.
The fuck. Yeah. I think last time we had a podcast, we were still not blocked on Facebook.
Yeah.
Just so everybody knows, if you've been following us and then not following us because you don't see any of our posts, what happened is me and Danny were at a gig, in a hotel gig, and Danny made a meme that had a swastika, and it said, BMW on the swastika. It was an actual BMW like
Whatever.
logo metal from like the 30s, and then he
No, 30s? No.
yeah, it must have been
End of the 30s, maybe.
yeah, early 40s, whatever. Whenever Hitler was
Yeah.
big, and it said
When Hitler was still in.
yeah, when Hitler is still in, and it said when he's a ginger, but he shreds so hard that you like him anyway. That was the meme.
Yeah.
Which is funny. And then somebody reported us for hate speech.
A lot of people did.
Yeah, and Facebook gave us a month ban, and our reach is so fucking low. It's crazy.
We get like 2 likes a post.
Yeah, I mean, like I have people writing me all the time, like, how come I can only see your posts when I visit your page? Why is everything off my feed? Why is everything off my feed? And they took off our monetization,
Yeah,
which is a fucking tragedy.
Especially now because we actually got paid for
Yeah,
the memes.
we got some money finally, but yeah, they put a stop to that. So that was a real bummer. So I was reading through the community guidelines, and you know, they specifically said that they understand that sometimes people of a certain culture or heritage use derogatory language in an empowering way, and that is not considered hate speech. But apparently the Jews can't fucking post a swastika for good times and laughter.
Wait, we're taking the swastika back?
Oh, yeah.
That makes no sense.
That's a good point. I mean, I'm trying to think of an example that makes sense, and none come to mind at the moment. But I do feel like it's pretty crazy to take off our page for a month or all of our reach because we posted a joke about a swastika. Like, if anybody should be able to do it, it should be us,
No,
right?
it should be Germans.
No, it shouldn't be Germans. It should be?
I don't know.
It should be Buddhists, maybe. But I think like there's something with like is a
Do you
swastika?
know that Austrians speak German?
Yes.
Why do we have 2 countries? It makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
I thought we had like a different language that's similar to that.
No, just German.
So why do we have a different country?
I don't know.
It's weird.
Okay. But yeah, in any case, that shit sucked, and I'm very upset still, and I will always be. I'm going to die upset.
No, because everybody knows that Hitler was born in Austria.
That's true. Yeah. In any case, we're about to.
Well, he thought that Austria and
Can I
Germany
tell you
should be
guys
one
that listen
country.
to the podcast that we're going on tour? Because since Facebook is down, I don't think anybody is going to know.
Never not.
They're
Even
not-
before that, Facebook wouldn't show stuff to anybody.
They showed some of it.
Well, they saw the meme. They showed the memes.
Yeah, but now they don't show any of it. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, we're going. Where are we going? We're going to play at Eureka Springs as a quartet. Then we're going to do a few trio days, 2 shows, one in Jefferson City, one in Osage Beach
Yes.
in Missouri. Then we're going to Evansville, Indiana. After Evansville, we're playing in Chattanooga, Birmingham, all the way to
Were you playing Birmingham?
Fennec. It's a fan of ours booked us a show in like a serious venue there.
Yeah, but I know. That's cool.
And then we're playing a show in Florida in St. Augustine, and then we're driving doing the cruise, on the Blue Cruise. After that, we're playing 2 shows, one in the Tampa area, one in Prague on the Ranch, which is a festival there. Then we have the same night Dunedin Brewery. After that, we're playing Gainesville, Florida, and then the last show is in Knoxville. So check out all those dates and catch us live. It's gonna be, I don't know, like a Marbin show. It's gonna be fun.
Who knows?
Yeah, man.
And Nick is going to be there.
And Nick is gonna be there. Nick, are you excited for
With
tour?
his mustache.
Oh yeah, bring the mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. So anyway, we've been doing a lot of content,
Oh, yeah.
and it's been really going well, I think.
Yeah, it's a good start for sure. Surprising good start.
Yeah. Are you guys hip to our YouTube? Are you watching all the lessons?
And it's also getting better. We're getting better and doing it. So,
It's a process for
yeah,
sure.
We're still out of.
We're
a lot to do.
learning.
Yeah, a lot to learn.
It's really weird, this fucking stupid world we live in, where people that are pushing 40 are looking at a guy named Mr. Beast for sage wisdom. Like,
It's pretty good though.
he's great. Like, he understands what's interesting. I watched the thing yesterday. I don't know if you saw this one, where these two guys are passing a football, and every time, that's like really close, and every time they pass it, he puts $1 in a bucket, and they're there for like 20 hours. And then he like tells them to go 10, like after it's like, and if they drop it at all, like they get nothing. And then he tells them to go like farther apart, and then it's like $5,000. He's like, do you want to do it? They're like, okay. And then it's like a Hail Mary for like 20 grand. Again, it's good. It is good. I mean, for me, I really like skip to the end because I don't care about the process. I just want to see what happens.
They won.
Yeah, exactly. It's but it doesn't really grab me. But I could definitely see how that will completely replace movies and TV for children, like for teenagers.
Yeah.
It's just the whole thing about narratives is just in stories is no longer relevant because of this kind of thing. Yeah, and you got to get invested. It's like acting.
It's not real. That's another thing.
It's exactly that. It's this combination of like taking away narrative, abolishing acting. You know what I mean? And just making things super engaging. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. I started watching this show on Netflix that I really highly recommend, even though you got to see through a lot of the bullshit when you watch it, called This Is Pop. It's just about pop music. And they definitely have like a perspective, which is crazy because whenever you're talking to somebody who doesn't hate pop and he's talking to you about music, like anything that happened is good, it's so bizarre. Like, somebody was just sincerely talking about like hip hop artists, like artists. You know what I mean? Like the thing they do is
like
art.
Britney Spears.
Or Britney Spears or But yeah, so there was this one episode that just fucking blew my mind so hard. And it was about, the question is, how come all the producers that produce pop are from Sweden, right? And when did this trend start? And they kind of traced it back in the beginning for like to ABBA and then to Ace of Base. And Ace of Base was produced by this guy named Dennis Pop, who's a Swedish producer.
This is actually his name now.
Yeah.
Pop?
Pop.
No, he changed it.
I don't think so.
There's no way he was born Dennis Pop.
I think he's the king of pop. But anyway, he's the guy that Ace of Base was like the first thing that broke through. And then after that, it was Backstreet Boys. And then the guy that was kind of his student, main songwriter, like partner guy, went on to do all the Britney stuff and like lyric writer for all this stuff. And they were talking to other people who were doing the modern stuff today. But they're all Swedish and things have been Swedish for a very long time. The question is like, how come that culture...
And then Spotify, Swedish too.
Spotify is also Swedish, obviously. But why they're so good at producing pop. And...
Define good.
Huh?
Define good.
Effective. Why is it? But then, you just start thinking about the fucking lyrics. And they were saying that what they do is they follow the melody, they write lyrics, and then they take out the words that don't fit. So the English, it's not even that it's bad. It's just like weird, abstract haiku. But the thing is, like, you listen to a band like the Backstreet Boys, and it's like this broken Swedish English spoken to you by a guy that looks like he's from Omaha, And
probably is.
Yeah. And from Britney Spears, and you just accept it, but like the meanings are just, it just doesn't sound like a guy who speaks English.
Give an example, though.
Tell me why I want it that way.
I want
it.
Everything sounds sexual in a weird way.
Or hit me, baby, one more time.
Also sexual in a weird way.
I know, but it's about a phone call. You know?
Hit me up.
Yeah, it's about hitting you up, but it's hit me. So you know, it was just. But I mean, when you go through like the songs and the level of lyric writing, it's this thing where the brain just doesn't absorb it like narrative. Like when you listen to like super retard writers like Joe Bonamassa, and you know their thing is so square.
Wait, question.
Yeah.
Is super retarded more retarded than retarded, or is super retarded less retarded than retarded?
Oh, dude, it's the worst. Like it's very behind.
So it magnifies whatever things you have.
Yes, yes. And you know, if you read something like, you know, if I were a pony, would you let me trot? If I were, you remember that song? It's the first one when you look up his lyrics on like Lyric ABC or whatever. So I always use it as an example because I'm too lazy to scroll down to the second one. But you know, he really has what I would consider some of the worst lyrics of all time. Just, it's not even lazy. It's just so stupid. It just oozes awfulness. And but still, you could see the structure of the writing is so square. If you were something, would you let me something? If you were this, would you let me that? It's just, there's this symmetry to it that is just so like obvious. The Swedish guys don't have that. It's all sort of abstract and sort of random sounding. There's a real language barrier you're receiving there, but it kind of works.
My loneliness is killing me.
I must confess, I still believe.
Yeah, but you said we had different lyrics, well, but we just took out.
Yeah.
Like we had more
When I'm
words.
not with you, I lose my mind. Hit me, baby, one more time. Right? There's something. It's just so not the way you would say something or think of English that it just kind of sticks in your mind, just like echoing. Like, you know what I mean? It almost like the same way poetry does. You know, if you read poetry, which I'm guessing you don't. But in any case, yeah, very, very highly recommended watch. I just watched something about country music. That was the latest episode that I saw. It was also pretty interesting about like the different eras of country and like what how they kind of put like that they have like a sort of separation between country and pop, and what makes you slide between one to the other.
It Wayne.
Well, nowadays, it's weird. No, it's highly recommended watch though. Not gonna do that. Anyways, more about our stuff.
How can you convince people to leave a house and to burn their phones? Did you see
It feels like it's all over. I have to say that I always had a bad feeling about the state of things in the world with music, but especially like doing the weekly Reggie's thing, I've never felt worse about the state of live music.
the new generation doesn't do it. That's what I noticed. But the new generation is completely invested in online, and they don't do live music.
As a fun exercise, I
I'm
encourage
not talking about the audience. I'm
I
talking about
encourage you
musicians.
guys listening to this thing to think about where you saw some shows near you and look up
How many shows they have.
Look up how many shows they have a month for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
It's
not a
really
lot.
crazy. Like Reggie's, the big room, they have maybe 4 or 5 shows a month. It used to be nightly when we got
Yeah,
here.
the Jazz Showcase, it's the biggest jazz club in Chicago.
Yeah,
And they have 0 shows in January and February.
yeah.
And we had, like,
Martyrs had like 5 shows
In
booked
just a
per month.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's crazy. All the places that were really where everybody was touring through
We used
are
to have
empty.
shows every day when we moved here.
Every single day of the
Even
year.
5 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Not till. I mean, this post-COVID thing really changed that. But I actually started thinking that it's not because they can't draw the audiences; it's because nobody is touring.
Yeah,
It's
nobody's
because
doing, and young musicians, I'm telling you. Young
Our
musicians,
our generation got jaded and gave up, and their generation never started.
Yes.
It wasn't their dream.
exactly, they don't
And-
do it anymore.
But I mean, can you fucking blame them? Like if they like saw us
yeah,
and they're like,
we
"I'm
had-
gonna do that."
Yeah, we had fucking epic lives.
We did, but they don't know that.
it looks pretty good, I feel like, from the outside too.
Nick, does it look good?
What do you mean? The tour lifestyle?
The tour lifestyle. Like, when you see people touring, are you like, that looks fun?
No, hanging out with your buddies again, getting drunk and high, and hanging out in fancy coffee shops and seeing the country with mountains and having a good old time.
That does, put it that way, it does sound pretty fun.
It was pretty fun.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're in your 20s.
Yeah.
Did you ever seriously think about getting in a van and going?
Yeah.
How close did you get to it?
Oh, not at all.
What stopped you?
Never was in a band.
Starting a band, I was just about to say, starting a band is difficult right now.
How do you? Yeah, I can see why. Finding musicians, my fucking
They don't want to play.
My fucking god. And the ones that are, dude. First of all, the level is so low.
Also, they teach people like, I want fair play, I want fair pay. Fair pay for fair work.
I
still remember in 2015 we talked to this guy that was teaching, this drummer. 2015, right? We still played bars.
Yeah.
Like we didn't even sell, like, because we started selling tickets in 2016.
yeah.
In 2015 we still played bars, and this guy was like, "Yeah, but I can make more. I'm making more money now." I was like, "Dude, yeah, but you're teaching all day, and we're telling you to come live a rock and roll life.
Right.
Yeah, it's not the same job."
Yeah. You can inject fentanyl into your eyeballs. No. Yeah. It's pretty crazy, but I really think that it's very strange to be on YouTube all day and like you see this like, guy in Brussels who made a guitar arrangement that's kind of cool, and then like a guy in Zimbabwe playing kind of good bass, but then you like make a phone call and get together with a fucking drummer, you know what I mean, and listen to them play, and it's just like the fucking guy who's actually gonna play with you can't fucking play in time. You know what I mean? Like the internet makes it seem like there's talent in the bushes everywhere, and all these fucking epic players.
They also don't want to play. There was something about.
Why would you? They're homemaking content.
I was about to say you're homemaking content, or not even making it. You're consuming it.
Yeah.
So, dude. I remember what it was like to be home when you were young. It's fucking boring.
Yeah.
And it's not anymore.
Dude, I remember in Israel we had like Channel 4.
Dude, everybody on the dating apps, everybody put watching Netflix as a hobby. Fucking bitch, it's not a hobby. You know what I mean?
That's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
And again, that's someone that person, oh, you tell me that we will be together, watch TV, no shit.
Yeah. No, I'm gonna listen to your stories all day.
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah. Is that a real thing? Watching Netflix? It's like,
Yeah.
that's amazing. Yeah, I knew about like loving dogs and walks in the woods.
Yeah, we do love to fuck with dogs in the woods.
Yeah.
I told you guys that. I was saying that if
Fucking
you want to
dogs
find
in-
women, if you want to find hot women, just walk in the woods.
Walk in the woods and look
There
for
is
somebody
nothing-
fucking a dog.
There is nothing in the United States where you see the racial divide more than dating profiles.
Why?
Because white ladies, all their pictures are like them walking in the mountains and superposed, and all the black ladies just are in their shitty apartment. Tick, 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 5 pictures. Like not making anything messy, don't turn the light, don't look nothing. Just fuck it, that's my life.
The amazing thing is that
Get me out. Another white woman like, I have such an amazing life. I don't know if I have time even for a man, but I would like. Okay, lady.
I'm out of the game, dude. I I went on one Tinder date in my life. Online was just not for me. I knew it from the
It
beginning.
also wasn't that much of a thing then. It just
It was
started.
very much of a thing.
Was it?
It was very.
I feel like it was.
It was very much of a thing. It was more of a thing in a way because nobody was jaded on it yet. There was excitement around it.
Yeah, it wasn't like 90%.
This is like when you still people like I met her on Tinder and we got married. That was still like a thing.
Yeah, it wasn't like also like people would still put stuff on the Tinder profile.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
But I knew immediately like this was not like I was like my version of dating. It was all in the real world. But I went on one Tinder date, and I remember like we went to this bar on Bryn Mawr, and I met this girl there, and she showed up with a fucking baseball hat with like a team
Your
thing.
team?
Yeah, like some like Cubs, and she was just like, "Oh, like I got tickets to see the Cubs on this." And I was just like, and she just talked to me a little bit more about sport. I was just like, this is not gonna work. I told her it's like, yeah, listen, like, I'm not feeling. She was so surprised too because it was like 5 minutes in, like we just got a drink.
You know,
like,
you know what I don't understand? Because that's another thing that a lot of women write is about how much they love sports.
No, they don't.
Wait, I think yes, obviously they don't, but
I don't. What do you like about it?
I know obviously they don't, and somebody said that I was like, yeah, no, thank you. But it's more than that because I feel like in their imagination we're trying to get the normal guy.
Yeah, like the guy, the finance dude.
Yeah, which okay, we want to get the normal guy that watches sport and whatever. But it's like the normal guy has friends to watch sports with. If you want to get that guy, be like, I'll shut the fuck up.
I love making
not
snacks.
Not like anything you try to do with your friends, I'm gonna be there. Try to be like, yeah, I'll leave you alone. That's what you put in your profile. Yeah. But women, they just don't understand. Yeah. They don't understand.
Dude, could you imagine? Yeah.
Dude, I legitimately, a thing came yesterday.
I love that my wife doesn't like to go to like the fusion shows. Like I don't want to hang out with my wife there. Yeah. I'm going there to drink. I'm on a date with John every Tuesday, and then on tour I'm with my friends, like laughing and having a great time.
John or my friends.
Yeah, no, it's like, whatever comes. Yeah, it's
yeah, we know.
Yeah,
but no, I get it, and I'm saying it's so weird that what I was saying, I had to really clear my. When you go on Google now, it gives you all the suggestions. And I always resisted, but one suggestion I had to look. It was, this lady made over $1 million business of giving guys advice on online dating. And then I read it, and it was like, how much money she's making now and giving advice. And I was like, okay, I have to fucking look it up on YouTube to see what she's talking about. And first of all, she has 5,000 subscribers, and her videos have like 50 views. And I was like, she's not making $1 million. Like she's not making $50.
Yeah. Oh, you mean to say she lied?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And she just got married, and I was like, those people don't understand dating at all. And then the second thing is like she gave advice about how to text. Like, don't just ask her, hey, how's your day so far? Ask her. Say something about yourself, like, oh, I really like today that I got to do yoga before I went to work. What a great day. What about you? What's your highlight of the day, and what's the low point of your day? And I was like, I wish we were in the same room so I could kill you.
No, women understand very little about what they want from men. It's my experience. Especially, I see how my wife talks about, about men to her friends, and I was like, but you married me. And I'm nothing like any of those things.
Yeah, she's throwing shade at you, passive aggressive.
No, it's not that. I feel like she's happy. But it's mysterious. Like the thing is, you gotta find somebody you're somewhat compatible with, and create a livable environment where people do the things they want to do.
This entire dating thing is so stupid. I wish I could just be religious and not be religious.
I am. The one thing I do love. Especially, like my wife has a few friends like that age that are like kind of our age now and single, and there is something like there's so much tension around like these women who are like, at the edge of their biological clock, and they have so much desperation and anxiety mixed into one, and there's they're sort of like still playing the musical chair thing, and like, but they're past that peak where like they could have had that finance bro and moved to the suburbs and had like 3 kids, but they blew that one, blew that relationship, and now they've been dead.
They didn't blow it enough.
Yeah, they didn't blow it hard enough, but yeah, now they're just kind of,
Yeah, again, I say it all the time, obviously, but it's to me the crazy thing about it is all these women, they still want the for them dating is the same way dating is in the 20s.
I just love how
crazy.
this podcast became a dating podcast. we're like a fusion band.
Well, I don't think you can get good advice about dating here. It's more about talking shit about what's going on.
It's called music real time. It's like, oh, you talking about Tinder? It's fucking bitches. It's fucking bitches, man. Ah, they're mine.
We never talked about music. Even before that.
Talked a lot. It started with Ornette. I really thought Ornette's gonna blow that guy.
Yeah. Yeah. You were hoping Ornette was like, hey, I saw you on Tinder. On Grindr.
Anyway, did you practice any saxophone this week?
Yeah, but I have nothing to say about it. What can I say about it?
I'm the same way. Dude, me and Nick tried to do like a lesson on diminished, and like I found out that I don't know it.
Yeah, you told me that.
It's so funny. We were trying, my concept going in was to do like this kind of like intervention type thing where it's just like, I don't know it at all. Let's like walk me through the stages. And I was so fucking terrible that we had to scrap that because it was too embarrassing. Like on guitar, I don't know, like I have the licks that I always play that are diminished. I can do those, but like I never had like a complete vision of it. So I started working on it, and I'm much better now.
Great. I'm sure I'll notice.
It's how do you not be how can a person not be jaded on music? You know what I mean? After doing so much, like I'm thinking about like the way, look, after I make content, and like we're trying to like talk about a concept, like some arpeggios of something, and I'm like, oh, I don't have this. I'm like really inspired to learn it. Not that I have time to really learn anything right now in my life, but I take some things home. Sometimes I practice some stuff, but then I go and I play a show, and I don't think about any of that shit.
Well, there's so little time to use that stuff, as I was saying.
I can like I know how to play the way I play. And I've also been on the road for like, I don't know, like over a decade, playing all the time. And if you just give me a context, I can not only play over it, I can sound like me doing it with no effort. You know what I mean? Some solos are, dog shit, some are great. But, but I'm already at this place. And to just like integrate that place with like, here's like a minor major 7 arpeggio. It's so dumb in a way, like and it's like
that's why it's hard to find stuff. It's fine. It's hard to find stuff. Like
the intrinsic problem of content is that it's all based on this lie that if you practice this stuff, you're going to collect it and then get good. The real, honest to God truth is that you need.
Not gonna get good.
No, is that you need to. It's not true though. The real honest to God truth is statistically it's very true. But if you are the kind of person who is going to make something, it's a very simple recipe. You write some tunes, you get a bunch of people that can play them, and you just play them all the fucking time until things start falling into place musically. Yeah. And you figure out a way of doing things that's just so deep and so like from doing things repetitively that you create this language with yourself that you don't even understand. Like you don't like I can't explain my playing at all.
You can add stuff like
you can add
stuff. The sweeping
stuff.
thing that I did, it immediately jumped into my playing, and I do it all the time now. Just because.
That's not what I'm saying,
but that's what I'm saying. It's really.
But you have students, and you can't even get anybody to understand how you construct a simple solo.
Yeah, that's harder.
That's the thing that's really impossible. Just to get somebody to just because nobody can do something like somebody else. You have to solo the way you solo. You
Ben was
have
talking to me yesterday, and I'm not gonna say everything that we talked about. No, not because of like crazy stuff. Which we
Oh
both
no,
talked
you're not
about.
gonna be rude on the podcast. Say crazy stuff.
Yeah, no, that's not the reason. You'll understand. Once I say it, you'll understand.
Okay.
But he was saying how when we solo, we play lines, and when he solos, it just everything is around patterns and pentatonic. And I was like, yeah, a lot of people, that's where we get stuck. But it was really weird for me that he understand it, that all of his soloing is around pentatonic as patterns. That's what he said. And I was like, yeah. And that, to me, it's very hard to get people to actually play lines.
Well, I mean, I think the real reason is that lines are rhythmic. You know, lines have a when you see a guy like Ben or like your average like kind of bar type guitarist playing a solo, they are without understanding what they're doing, receiving information from the drummer and the bassist, and are constructing their solos from things that they are being spoon-fed from the rhythm section. They don't generate rhythm on their own, and they definitely have no awareness of the impact that certain subdivisions have. Like when Ben plays over like a shuffle, he'll start playing swung eighth notes without ever touching a straight eighth note at all, because he doesn't have the compartment in his mind that generates it.
Yes.
Like, the boom, 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 all the lines. He's thinking about pentatonic, which is kind of like the framework of where he's pressing, but he's not thinking about when he's pressing. Something like that. So it's like after a while,
but even
that
that,
stops.
it's like, you wouldn't do that. Do you know
No,
what I
but
mean?
it stops sounding like lines. Pretty. Even if you, I know, I know what
can't
you're
even
saying.
sing something that's not a line.
I mean, something like that. But it
And then
wouldn't
again,
end
if you
so
do it
nicely.
again, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it wouldn't end so nicely. I do see. Yeah, I mean, it's weird. A lot of time with students, especially, you see that like it's sort of like you start to question. It's like who is driving the car? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like what part of your brain is driving? It's certainly not the part that listens to music, because you'd know. Like, you know, a lot of these guys that I'm teaching have been hearing guitar solos almost exclusively as their main point of focus for their whole lives. So they know what a good one sounds like, or at least a passable one, or one that they like. But they're incapable of scrutinizing themselves at the same level. They wouldn't accept it if it was.
But it's very hard to explain to somebody that's like, hey, this is not a line. But like, yeah, but look, it's 16 notes. Like, yeah, but still, it's not a line. And like, what's not a line? If I change a note, if I do that. No, it's not it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, because what a line means is something that works in the context. And it could be so many things, but there's so many more things that it can't be.
Yeah, but it's hard to explain to somebody why it didn't work. Like, we're like, yeah, but I did do. I was like, okay, that can't work. I was like, yeah, it can work, but it didn't work. Not the way you do it.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's so many places where it can fail. The rhythm, like it can fail on accuracy, like the rhythm's 2 behind, 2 ahead. It can fail on note choice. It can fail on shape. It can fail on subdivision. It can fail on tone.
It can,
It's just so many ways you can eat shit in music.
Yeah.
You know, and if you do one of those things, then yeah, it's like the whole. It didn't work. That's like, you know, that didn't land. So it's nothing. It's a real bummer.
Yeah, and it's a real. Yeah, it's like you have to figure out a lot of things separately, and then eventually they come together.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people, it never comes together.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult. And I was talking to Ben also about the thing that I said on the podcast before, but about how I had this argument with John about music school. How he kept saying it's worth it, and I was like, if they tell you you're gonna pay, again, it's not about John specifically, because John had like, I don't remember how much he paid, but he didn't get into debt because of school, because he had scholarship. But like if I tell you, you give 4 years of your life and pay $200,000, and at the end of it you can't play standards.
Right.
Like you can't play a song from 1930 without hitting, 14,000 wrong notes. It's like, you want to tell me that it was worth
Dude,
it?
that's good.
Do you know what I mean? How crazy it is to say something like that.
Oh.
It's like if you go to be an engineer and everything you do catches on fire. We're like, no, it's a good school. It's like one of the best. Like, yeah. It's like just equivalent to other things, like a psychologist, like every single one of your patients kill themselves.
Yeah, dude, we were playing That Ain't Kava, and I was just like, I made it kind of like a fun exercise when John solos to like try to hear the harmonies he's applying, and on this B major 7 chord that's a flat 2 major 7 in the key of B flat minor, he was playing Ionian, not Lydian,
Yeah,
and
and
just like smashing into that E natural. Just smash, and I was just, whoa, like, it feels so good when you call it, because it's so hard to hear.
Yeah, it's the avoid note and it's the wrong scale. It's
Yeah,
like
the avoid note from the wrong, it's just like I know it's like when things go by kind of quick, like a scale run, like, and he's just playing it up and down, like, like in a solo. It's just like, it's so gross. Like, I love you, John, but like, it's just like that sound. It's just, but when you know what it is, it feels so satisfying.
And we did teach John, so it's like John admits that we taught him how to play standards without hitting all the wrong notes.
Yeah.
Right? So
I think
he hates it when I talk about it, but he admits it.
Yeah.
So it's like he admits that when we started playing, he didn't know how to do it.
I think I think a lot of people improvise this way because they like have this thing where it's like, okay, here's all the there's like all this theory stuff, blah blah blah, but like tonight I'm playing a song, and minor chords are minor pentatonic and major chords are like major scale up and down. I'm just gonna do it. You know what I mean? Just bulldoze through it with it. It's like, it's what I got, man. It's what's in my pockets. Do you want me to play nothing? So it's like, I get, go for it. Let's see what happens. But yeah, it's, in a lot of ways, I used to have a very different perspective on like this whole antagonistic approach to like learning theory. Like people are just like theory, blah, 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 play with feel. But now I think a lot of people should just play with feel, because at least before you even start this adventure and you're just really listening and trying, like you're not going to get it.
There's no, I know where you're going with it, but you're wrong. Because I tell you why. Because if you actually listen to the notes you're playing, you will be so terrified then you will never play.
What I see with people who are in the beginning of the process of learning is that they're like, I tell them something like, you can't hit a fourth on a major in the major scale. That's the avoid note. And then as they're playing, they're like, don't hit a fourth. What's a fourth? Where's the fourth? And then they're just afraid of hitting anything. So it's like there's something.
The fourth be with you.
Where the fourth be with you, right? There's something like so how do you say it?
I don't know what it is.
Decapacitating?
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Incapacitating.
Yeah. Decapacitating.
Incapacitating.
Incapacitating. Yeah. I was thinking about decapitating, which is how I wish the state I wish I was in listening.
That's how we started before the podcast.
Yeah.
And I was saying you should do it to women that nag to people that are not their husbands.
Yeah, that's right. Incapacitating about, trying to apply theory when you haven't internalized the concept. It's much better to close your eyes and go for it.
No, because you're going for it. You're never gonna stop playing on notes. You're going for it.
I understand, but if you're trying to let's say, apply a substitution, you're not sure where it is on your instrument.
Yeah, it's both. It's both terrible. The thing.
No. I'm saying there's a difference.
Like if you really concentrate, you can squeeze the note to sound good on the chord. No, you can't.
Well, I mean, there is something a little bit better about staying in a pentatonic box and just trying, you know what I mean? Like, and that it's kind of like one of those computer games where things fly at you and you need to swing at them. You know, it's like it's more like playing music becomes more of an exercise of that than what it actually is, than just trying to like apply an arpeggio from a random place where you're not sure if it is, and like the first note you're hearing is like a tension, and it scares you, and like I just see it. They're both terrible ways, but one of them leads somewhere.
Yeah, I think the place that would lead somewhere is you try to throw your hand at the right notes and understand in your brain that what notes are wrong theoretically, and then after a while you actually learn how to hear when things are wrong, and you start to not panic.
Yeah.
Because I think that's the way it happens.
Somebody asked me to do a content about ear training, and I really want to say that ear training is for fucking nerds.
I thought you were going to say something else.
It's purely for nerds. Like, there was a guy, Mitch Hoppers in Berkeley, who like was...
Sounds like a nerd.
He was a nerd. He was like the biggest nerd, and like he couldn't play for shit. He was just like, I heard him solo on the standard after like studying with him for 2 years. I was just like, Jesus fucking Christ, what have we been doing all this stuff? Why are we following this guy? You know what I mean?
Do, re,
It could,
ra.
dude. He was amazing. He was amazing at that. You could play like, he didn't have perfect pitch, which is also a fucking weird game, because it's like I'm like the best of the people who suck at this. You know what I mean? Because it's like you got like a guy with perfect pitch, and to them it's like they're just a green, right? It's just like scratching their belly button, like it's not a challenge. Then you have like these fucking nerds who like, yeah, I don't have that, but I'm really good. It's like, oh, you hear like the sharp 9 and how it's better to have relative pitch. It's like you can't play and you can't really hear. It's like, what are you, like, it's literally being a super professor. That's what these people are, you know? But yeah, this fucking guy was great at it, and he was really trying to raise a generation of other nerds that like practice that all day. It's like, yeah, and then you like really start hearing like major 7 on minor 7 chords with like, you hear that tingling dissonance. It's just like, Jesus Christ, man. It's like, no wonder you can't play. Like, this is what you do with your time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, these people are just like do-re-meing at home,
Yeah.
and they're not in school. They're not in school. They're just doing it for fun, or like to get good at music.
What I think is gonna happen? That's the thing I don't understand. It's like you can be on the bandstand and just be like, 13, 9. What? What do you think? I don't understand what's the goal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, my goal is I'm gonna be on the bandstand, not knowing the tune, but I could tell in retrospect what everybody played.
No, their goal. You know what their goal is?
I don't.
Their goal is that they're in their like 60s, and they imagine that they'll sit on their now dead college professor's lap, who's now like 175, and he'll like pet their head and be like, "You finally got it. The thing I made you feel bad about in 1953. Like, now you're so good at it."
I really don't get it.
It's just like the same shit. That's like the reason Oz Noise putting out standards records, because somebody laughed at them when they were 14 because they hit like a bad note, and the rest of their life is like a journey to correct it. You know what I mean? It's just like this cycle. Yeah. I gotta tell this story again. I gotta tell the story again. This is when I found out I was from Israel, and I was so fresh off the boat that I was just obnoxiously Israeli. This is like my first month at Berkeley, first day at Berkeley. I had ear training class, and I never really hung out with an Asian before. We didn't have those
Even
in
though we are
Israel.
from Asia.
Yeah, well, obviously not our kind of Asian. And there was this one guy from Japan. I forget his name. He was in the class, and the teacher asked us to sing just to sing arpeggios. Can you do major arpeggios? The first one was no problem for everybody. We did do, mi, so, mi, do, and we went over the class. And then the fucking Asian guy, the next arpeggio was He just took a breath and he went, lay. And I literally shit my pants. I couldn't stop laughing. And this bitch told me to leave the class. Because apparently it was racist
Oh my God, I was just talking.
to laugh about lay. And it was so fucking funny to me. He was just...
Wait, when you were gone, they were talking, John, Amanda, and Shkandia were talking about, John is watching Christmas movies now. And they were talking about how they made in one of the Christmas story, whatever fucking movies that I haven't watched, so I don't know. They have, at the end, they're going to a Chinese restaurant, and the Chinese people keep singing, ra 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 ra. And the Chinese owner of the restaurant is like, no, la 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 la. And like, yeah, ra 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 ra. And I was like,
That's in Christmas Story.
okay, yeah. And we're like, how racist is that? I was like, what, to have a Chinese accent? like you do understand that we actually do that, right? That's why it's funny.
Dude, it's...
I don't, it's like everybody has an accent. That's what I try to explain to people all the time. Everybody has an accent.
Yeah.
And it's funny when you can pronounce something.
So funny.
Ra, 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 ra. It's perfect.
It is perfect.
And
it was perfect.
yeah.
It still is perfect. But anyway, no, so... But there is an element of actual ear training in music. You have to get your shit together to an extent. But it's to the extent that you need to hear the shit you're playing and realize if it works or not. That's what ear training is, right? Like if you were the kind of guy that like plays Ionian on a Lydian chord and leans into that 4 and be like, that was great, then you've failed ear training. Because you haven't detected that shit does not work, John.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Can I do some more social commentary?
Is it about dating?
No, well, I can do more about that too, but
No.
no, but that's what we were talking about. How sad it is that for some reason you can completely, I can say that women that nag people and all their husbands, you should decapitate them or burn them at the stake, which I was explained before.
They've done it for centuries.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
They stopped.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't, it's a joke. I don't really, like, maybe if you nag, like, Greta Thunberg, then you should definitely burn her.
Yeah.
But it's like, what if you just nag, like, you're,
Careful.
like,
You're going to go where Tate went.
yeah. Well, good thing I'm a virgin, so nobody can accuse me of that. But still, I'm saying that the point behind it is like you can make a joke like that, but you can't joke anything that has to do with race.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's so sad that we lost that. It's funny.
We had it. We had it in our van.
Oh, yeah.
We had it in our
I
van.
don't know if you want to go there.
No,
but
I'm not
yeah,
going there, but like
we definitely did.
with Justin and Jay, like the first
Can we
half.
tell the story?
Which one? Probably not.
I'm trying to. Well, I'm gonna start the story really from the end because you really cannot tell that story not from the end.
Okay.
But our drummer had an Indian girlfriend,
Oh yeah.
and we were talking about encountering racism.
Yeah.
And she's like, one time a car drove by me in the suburbs, and she's like, Indians who are born in the States are like the whitest people ever.
Yeah.
And she was like, a car drove by me which is so funny because Indians who are born in India are like
They
so
don't-
hardcore.
Yeah, they are.
There is no such difference between like first and second generation.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you meet Russian people,
Yeah.
like it's
They're similar.
Yeah.
No, it's like they're preppy. It's like they went from like shoveling shit to being like preppy.
Like from
Yeah.
being like the most hardcore people
Yeah.
in the fucking on earth to being that. And she's like, yeah, one time I was like in the suburbs and it's like a car drove by and they called me the N-word and I was like, what, an Indian?
And then
and then our band
dismantled that tour. Fucking Indians ruin everything.
destroyed our band completely.
They quit on us.
And I was like, it's funny. Why can't
Yeah,
we just say stuff like that? But it's like, that's the one thing that
That was funny.
you're not allowed.
Hey, dude, look what we did. We talked about the Jews, and look what happened to us.
But we didn't talk about the Jews.
Yeah, we talked about the Nazis.
The Jews, it's not
We
even
talked about
like-
BMW.
Yeah, not BMW. I guess people do like BMWs. But that was the joke.
thought all these people drive Teslas now.
Yeah. All the Nazis. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what I was listening to. But it was a joke. I couldn't finish it because it was so. Like this guy was like crying, like every other sentence. I was like, dude,
Cry?
stop
What are you talking about?
crying.
What are you talking about?
About he had this Indian guy there actually, that like Indian, like American.
I'm not following at all.
You're gonna get it in a second. That he went to the mines where they get all the stuff of the batteries.
Okay.
For where is it? Somewhere in Africa. Forgot.
This is on Rogan or something?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, somewhere in Africa, and he was talking about how the horrific conditions they do it.
I'm sure
for
it's
$1
bad.
or $2 a day. It's horrible.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's crying. Yeah, it's annoying with his crying all the time for 2 hours. But yeah, it's.
Can't you just finish your crying at home and then go do Rogan?
Yeah, it's horrendous. It is
Yeah.
horrendous.
Of course.
And I was thinking about it because I was complaining about globalization, how you waste, like you get all the people from India to be like, I'm sorry, but I cannot help you. I'm sorry. Or like for Choice Hotel.
This would be racist if like your accent sounded Indian.
Did what about now? I'm sorry you get bed bugs. Oh, sir, I understand, but I cannot give you points. Right?
That's the voice of that's Danny's lived experience.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so try to cancel me for that and stab you in the throat.
Yeah.
Yeah, the amount of hours that I was trying to make Indians at least upset. Like, I would try to get them upset.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't do anything. Yeah, so that we take all those people in India, instead of, like, making a better system than shoveling cow shit with your hands and putting it in the field, we take all of those people and you put them... we make them
Customer service?
Customer service in that they don't get any authority to help you.
You do see why shoveling shit is a beautiful like previous job to that job.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
but that's what I was thinking. It's actually worse. Right? So that's what I was complaining about it a few months ago. So it's that I understood with globalization, like people like Milton Friedman and all those people, they never talk about that part of it. That we actually take people that can do something useful in their life and we make them completely useless.
Yeah.
Because they're not helping anybody. It's just basically those big companies are saying, hey, I don't want to waste anybody's time, but I have to waste somebody's time because otherwise people would probably shoot the CEO in the face.
Right.
Right? That's the only reason
Right.
why they do that.
Right.
Because like you would get bedbug for the 10th time and you have nobody to talk to. You're just gonna
Yeah,
go
it's
and
just like
fucking kill-
falling down.
You're gonna kill this person.
Yeah, of course.
So it's like you have to have somebody to take your frustration out in like airlines and all this shit.
Yeah.
So you just hire people in India and Indonesia to do this job, terrible job, but you give them zero. Like they tell them, hey, you can give them up to 20,000 points, and like how much 20,000 points are worth? 20 cents. You know what I mean?
$20.
And $20, and it's like but you can't give him any more. We're firing you.
Right.
And if you're giving like over like 80,000, 80,000 points, it's back to shoveling shit for you, right? Like a month. So it's really they make those people useless on purpose. It's not like those people are useless because it's
not
they make
very
them on
competent.
purpose.
That's built into the design.
Yeah, it's built into the system. It's a part of the system. And then after listening to the guy talking about the mines in Africa, I was thinking about, it's actually worse because the people that get those jobs are the best people a lot of times.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the people that can speak English, the people that will not lose their shit at people losing the shit at them.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
do you think you can go right now and take the lowest paid people in this country and throw them into a mine? How much would you have to pay somebody to actually work inside of these mines?
You can and you shouldn't because like the conditions are horrible. We should have less iPhones.
Yeah.
That's really it. We should just have one iPhone that works for like 40 years.
Dude, I think you and Greta are going to get along great.
You would think that.
It seems like you guys really came full circle.
In some stuff. So in that...